Welcome to Alchemy Avenue, where we transform in real time, trust the vibe, and grow on purpose. This isn't just a podcast, it's a movement, a reminder that you don't need fixing, just unlocking. Around here, we laugh, we build, we heal, and we elevate, all powered by that deep inner knowing that says, this is exactly where I'm meant to be. You were made for this version of you, so let's expand, let's enjoy it, and let's keep becoming who we already are. Tap in. This is Alchemy Avenue. All right, welcome back to another amazing and wonderful episode of Alchemy Avenue. Let's get to it today. I hope you're being well. I hope life is unfolding in ways that have truly blown your mind. So I really pray that we are in a place of love and in a place of empowerment, being your fully authentic self. Let's get to it today. A lot of people been asking, David, I see the art, the codes, I see the different things you have in the background, and what is it? How do you do it? How'd you start? So we're going to jump into that today. So today's episode, light language, writing the soul into form. So how often have you felt something move in you? A wordless pull, a vibration, a hum that language could not capture. That's the field reminding you you've always had a voice beyond words. And today we're going to step into how that looks, at least for me and my perspective and kind of my journey into even getting into this. So let's get to it. So a lot of people ask, David, what is light language? My definition of it and just kind of what I've understood. And of course, I'm just always learning different layers of this as well. So to me, it is a primordial language. Light language is it predates culture and the alphabet to me. Just different things and different meditations and different things that I've seen during those times, like meditation and going into tapping in, is a language that predates culture and even alphabets. It's a language of your soul, not something learned, but something that's remembered. The embodied communication, when spoken or written, because you can do both. Or you can probably dance it too. I don't know. Again, there's different layers of this that I haven't tapped in yet. So when it's written or spoken, it bypasses any analytical mind and opens the field for direct resonance. Soul signature. You're not performing, you're revealing. The sound and the shape of your essence anchors this line right here. Light language is not understanding with the mind. It is understanding and recognizing your own spirit through, again, speaking and writing. How does it differ? Because when people speak it, it may sound like tongues in church. So how it differs from speaking in tongues in like church and other practices, in church, tongues felt like a anomaly. It felt like, it was, you felt something, but you didn't know exactly what was being uttered, or you didn't really understand the place. Because at least for me, because I did speak tongues in church as well, from what was told to me is that you feel it in your belly, like a fire in your belly, and you're trying to extinguish it with your tongue. That's what kind of how it was described. And then I just we was in prayer, the spirit was high. People that's been in church, what I mean by that. And, just everybody's in there worshiping, and then it just came out. So I used that because I was, helped with altar call and different things like that. So I just felt that I needed to utter this language to help whatever was going on throughout altar call and everything. But again, I didn't really understand what it was. I just knew, and at that time, just with the different ideology and the programming, you're thinking God is from God, which it is from God, but you still should have some kind of understanding or some kind of direction with it to a certain degree, at least in my opinion. But now that I do light language, and it's like then that could have been the level. So the level was the utterance coming in through that lane, and now that I have a better understanding of who I am, and just, being on this spiritual walk, it has shaped and shifted to what this is now, as far as the spoken light language and the written light language. So light language carries clarity and intention. That's the biggest difference for me between speaking tongues in church and what I do now. You know what you're encoding. Even if words fail, you feel the embrace and the instruction from the higher self. Tongues felt like a mystery. Light language never feels like that. It feels like a memory, like I'm remembering, I'm capturing something that really I'm uncovering. I'm uncovering something that was once lost, and now I'm in a place where I found it. So how I got into this, how I got even doing this is, really it started with like meditation, because I wanted to get in meditation more. I wanted to kind of go deeper in meditation. So a lot of times, we think we just got to sit and then we can just, clear our mind, and that worked for me. It does work for me. However, I felt myself when I used to do that, or when I did that, these different glyphs or different shapes will come into my mind's eye, and I'll see different shapes. And then, so it happened like that when, like, only doing meditation. Then I'll, just be sitting down, just either at work or somewhere where it's not a lot going on at the moment. And then these codes and different things will start coming to me. So I'm like, okay. So then I just said, I'll just start writing them down. So I started writing them down and just kind of doodling. That's what I started like that. But then I said, okay, well, I can really work this into meditation, because maybe I'm somewhere and it's a lot of noise, or maybe I am at work, because at that time I was at the hospital. So I had time to, I could sit down and I could just, write some codes and still perform my job task. So I'll do that. I'll just write some codes and just, hey, let me do this, and I called it meditation writing. So it actually was pretty, fun. It was fun for me because it was interesting to see these codes come about. But then also too, once I created the whole picture, and it kind of, and then you can turn it different ways, and then you will see like, oh wow, if you turn it like this, that could be interpreted to that. This is before I even created intention with all that I was doing, but it still spoke to me. It still felt alive. It felt like a memory. So I could either look at it and say, okay, what is this saying to me at this moment? Or I could create an intention with it and say, this is what it means. But even then, that could still change and morph depending on how I'm looking at it, the lighting, and then also too, just where I'm at, where you're at a particular stage. And that's with any kind of, piece that kind of speaks to you, especially if you do it yourself. Oh man, you'll definitely open yourself up to a different interpretation of it as you move along. Like for instance, I started off with like some of these kind of codes, and again, you look at it, that's kind of how I started off, because I was doing it, and like this was just me just drawing and coming from a space of just, again, no resistance, no kind of like holding back on it, and just really just coming from a space of just, I'm gonna let whatever comes through. I'm not going to hold no resistance to it. I'm not going to be like, oh, that don't even look right. At first I didn't even know I was looking at. I was just doing meditation writing. So this is just stuff I was just drawing different things. This is like a brick road to, and that's a portal. That's what that's supposed to be. And again, I'm just doing these different glyphs, and I'm just doing it as like a meditation. So it actually just kind of transformed from that. And then I add color. See, this is more, again, they really at first, so I thought they were like maps, like coordinates. I thought it was like coordinates and like a map. That's what I thought I was remembering, because really it felt like a memory. It really felt like a memory. And so I'll do it like that, or I kind of do it more in this kind of style. Again, it look like coordinates to me. It look like that's a direction to somewhere. That's what that looks like to me. So again, it just graduated, and this is my daughter add her own little spin to some of the stuff I do. So I mean, this is just how it graduated, and then it that's, you know, of course, and then so it went from doing the glyphs and everything, but then you'll have like a phrase or a download, and you'll write that, and then codes will just accompany that download. So I'll write something, and then boom, this accompany what that was. And I did that for about a good, 'cause I guess I've been doing it for about a couple of years now. So that's kind of how it graduated. And as you can see, it just keeps it. If you look at it over time, it changes. It changes. If you kind of look through, and what I've gotten as a download for that is that growth and just embodiment. Whenever you start to be your full authentic self, you stop trying to form or conform to anybody else's expectation of you. You start to just flow and do things yourself. You see, and not saying you can't incorporate different styles, especially if you're already like an artist and you're already like a person that does different mediums and different things. Then you'll have a different way that you can interpret, because one day you may feel like you want to do it like this, one day you may feel like you want to do it like that. Really, that's with anybody. So if you start, or if you feel the pull to start writing like language, just do it. Just sit down, have zero expectation, and don't worry about how it looks at all, because that is your language. That's how you do it. So this is, again, and then it'll start to change, and then you'll see it, and you're like, wow, that's very, you know, because once you start looking at, so like for instance, if you look at this, so you look at it like this, you're like, okay, cool, you know, got that. Then you turn it around, and then it says something else to you. Or you can turn on the sides, and it just reveals something else. Then I worked with another guy, and because I don't really show this to many people, but I showed this to him. What he recognized is the different patterns. He was really good at recognizing, like, oh, that looks like this. That looks like a ship, or it looks like it was. He just, every piece I showed him, he was looking at it, and he just seen shapes or like things that made sense to him on almost every one that I showed him. It was very, very interesting that he was able to pull that like that. So now that was one of my first, that's my first book I had used, but this is my current book I use when I just want to, you know, get to it. So how it has changed and how it has grown from there to now is that most times I put intention with it. So for instance, if I am sitting and, you know, I say, you know, for instance, like this here, like this one here, like you see this, but the intention behind it, let's see, not this one, because this one was but also that's a good point. Sometimes I don't put intention with it. Most of the time I do, but the intention is just to create. And then whatever I glean from this, that's what I glean from it. That's exactly what I glean from it. So like these here, like I did this one for Father's Day. This is the one I did for Father's Day. And this one is the bridge. The bridge. So with this one, with the bridge, not saying you're going from one place to another. For me, it was really just bridging your whole self from who you thought you were into who you really want to be, without any explanation, without any, you know, without anything holding you back from being that in every situation, no matter what that looks like. still being a person of high character and being, super smart, being, a person that loves to just live in joy, and even being able to handle challenges, but handle challenges well whenever they do come. So that was the sentiment, because a lot of men, we always pulling on different areas of our life to show up for everybody, and then a lot of times we don't show up for ourselves, and we have a lot of frustration with that. So that was a one for Father's Day, just allowing me, but then also a tribute to men everywhere to just be your full authentic self. But you got to trust yourself, because a lot of us because we have been so enamored with the standard of what we thought a man should be, and a lot of times we don't meet those standards, and then we think less of ourselves, and we should not, because everybody has their own path, everybody has their own road they got to travel. And again, if you're still here, you're still smiling, you're still able to move, think, and be able to provide, man, you already winning. Like we just got to know that we are already winning right now. All right, so then this is another piece I did too. Just again, being able to be in a space of just meditation, and just and these are black canvases that I use. I didn't paint the canvases; they already came this way. And then this one here was just trust. And then after trust, I put brave, because once you get into a space where things start to show up for you, and you get different things like opportunities, job, you get some money, or get anything that happens for you, you have to trust yourself. But to do that, you got to be brave, because we've been through so many traumas, and we got so many triggers, we got so many different things that happen to us, that if you don't trust yourself, then you will end up blowing, or not blowing, but the way that the new, whatever this new blessing or whatever you want to call it, miracle, whatever has came to you, you're going to fumble in the areas where you really shouldn't have, because you didn't trust yourself. And then trusting yourself, it takes bravery, because we have so many thoughts about who we are and how people want, and how we want people to perceive us. And a lot of times it's in good taste, because we just want to be good people. We don't want to disappoint people. But the person that you really don't want to disappoint is yourself. I'd much rather disappoint others than disappoint myself. That's just, I'm truly on that. I'd much rather disappoint others than disappoint myself, or be disappointed at myself. Granted, the way I come off, the way I did something may not have suited how somebody felt at a certain point. And if I made a mistake, and if I had said something, or I came off too coarse or rough or whatever, then I can apologize for that, because I never want to do that. But again, I don't want nobody to mishandle me either. So don't let people misuse you. I don't mind being used, just do not misuse me. So, but yeah, this one is just, and then the sentiment, just saying, trust, being brave. You got to do that. You got to do that. So let's talk about too. So if you do other things, so if this technology, this tool, I call them all tools, because to me, that's what they all are. They're all tools. If that comes to you, and you do other things, or even you come up with different ideas while you're doing, again, this is so multi-layered that, man, you can really add so much to this. Like, for instance, here, and I know y'all seen this up in the background, but now you get to see it up close. So this is one I did. So I had already did this mask, because I like to be creative. I like to be creative. To me, that's the best way, being creative and just doing random stuff that you normally don't do. And it just helps your brain open up. your synapses, the different parts of your brain that fire and communicate with each other, the different nerves and everything. They just open up new pathways once you start to be creative, because you're doing something you normally don't do. And then you get your ideas, you get different ideas. So of course I already do like language. I already do this. But then I added this. It's just a mask. And then I was like, oh, people got old jewelry? Let me get the old jewelry. My wife had some old jewelry, was cleaning up. I was like, oh, I'll keep that. Then I got some more from like a yard sale. So I was like, I can add them to a mask and just create just whatever, just create. Just create. So never limit yourself. Never limit yourself. Because you'll be shocked at some of the wild ideas that you have about something, and then you end up doing it. And again, I like this quote because somebody was asking, I think it was Erica Badu, about music, and do people approve and everything. And she was like, I make the music that I like, and people can consume it the way they want to consume it. If they want to consume it with a fork, they want to consume it with their hands, however they consume it, they consume it. But I make music that I like, and then I put it out to the world. So make things that you like. Make things, create things that you like. And if other people like it, cool. But it is enough. It's actually more than enough that you like it, to be able to create and better, do what you do and do it how you do. So again, you can add any kind of medium to the different codes and the different whatever you want to do. Some people are crazy woodworkers. You could add some woodwork to it. Some people do well with other kind of fabrics. You can add, and this is a thought I've been had with this, you could definitely add some fabric to it and then create some codes around that, or anything. If you already draw something and then add the codes as like the background, the backdrop, you can add it, just again, be limitless. And then once you start doing this, and then once you start to do quote unquote regular stuff, then it helps you be more open to ideas and how you move about in the other spaces that you create in. It just helps you, be more creative and be more, okay, boom, I got an idea for this, or let's do it like this. And then you get to see how, okay, boom, you're showing up for yourself in that way. What I use as a medium, is I like to use these paint pens. I use these, I'm not getting sponsored by anybody or anything like that. Definitely would love to, so hit me up. But I like these paint pens. These paint pens work amazing. Unless I'm gonna do something small in like the details, I'll use like a small pen. So these work well. They are, let's see. So they're selling 7mm, and that is how they look. So you shake them, and then you get to it. You got to press down, you get to it. I love those pens. Also, too, I like these as well. I wasn't even gonna get these, but we was out, and my wife was like, "Why don't you try to get those?" I mean, to me, and I was like, "Well, it's not a bad idea." I haven't, I use them, but I like those better. But if I'm doing something on like, so this is the canvas. If I'm doing something in my art book, I can use these and they work well. They work good on the canvas too. But I just like those pens better on the canvas. Also, I have used charcoal pencils. I like those a lot. I like using charcoal pencils. I got some metallic different markers I use. So use any kind of medium. I was thinking too one day, if I get like a wooden, like a flat wooden sheet, and then I can use like I don't have it, but use like a torch or something, or one of those wood, I forgot what they're called, but you can use that too. That'll be real dope. Again, don't limit your imagination. Don't limit it. So let's do this. So again, like I was saying, that you can prompt yourself to, and this is what these markers, this is what these look like. It's a mixture of those markers and the paint pens. So this is some recent ones I've done. And see, some recent ones. My daughters, I tell them they want to do something, go ahead. So again, you don't limit yourself in how you use this technology. Use it the way you want to use it, because it's you. It's your soul speaking through you for this time, and you use it in whatever way you want. So just don't limit yourself. Don't limit yourself at all. All right, so this is, again, I'm going to take you through. This is how so again, I let myself just kind of settle. I let my mind settle, and I just open myself up. I smile. I kind of rock. And I just let myself be open to what is coming through. What's coming through. So for instance, and then color-wise, because I like things multicolor. I don't care if it matches. I'm not even doing it for that. And not saying you can, because some people have a wonderful eye for how colors blend, and they could manipulate that. Again, use everything that you got as a tool. However, what I do, because I just like everything, and I love blues, purples, and everything. So for instance, if I was doing one right, we're gonna do it on the spot. Let's do it on the spot. So let's see. And it could be one word, it could be a phrase, it could be a symbol. I don't know. It could be an exclamation point, it could be a period. Instead of the word period, it can just be a period. That's what it is. Again, you could draw something for whatever it's going to be, but let's see, for this one, we're going to call this one the pulse of memory. The pulse of memory. So each line is the echo of brilliance that never died. You're not just remembering, you are being remembered by your ancestors. So the pulse of memory. So again, I just let myself tap into what the prompt is, and then, or also too, I've done these for people. I'll just ask, I ask their spirit, what is it that they need? What is it that they need? And then I'll just go. I won't even, again, I'm not trying to figure out what they need. I'm trying to listen what they need, or I'm even trying to listen to what I need from this piece. And the pulse of memory, So again, I just go. We was on Stone Mountain. For anybody watch Black Magic 363 with Brother Rich, we was on Stone Mountain, and I did a couple pieces. And a guy was like, yo, I'm glad you're here, because I was hoping you was going to be here, because I need to tell you this, that those codes and different things that you draw, he said he sees those all the time. I don't know this dude from nowhere. I can't even remember where he was from. May have been from Indiana, because there's so many people from everywhere when we went to Stone Mountain. But he was like, yo, those codes you draw, I see them all the time. And I was like, wow. He's like, so I'm glad you're here. Keep doing what you're doing. And I was like, perfect, bro. I definitely will. You keep, But he was like, man, I just haven't had the chance to really sit down and start writing them. I said, bro, you got to do it. Because if you were saying that, something's pulling you to do it. Again, I just I'm not mad. I'm not like, oh my God, it doesn't look uniformed. It doesn't look like this. It doesn't look like, no. Whatever comes through is coming through. And I let it come through. I'm not holding no resistance. I'm not holding myself to a standard like, oh, it has to be like this, or it needs to be in this kind of thing. Or what would somebody say if they see it? They may not say nothing. Their soul may be screaming. It doesn't may. It unlocks. It definitely unlocks different things in people. Because when people see it, they just say, wow. And a lot of times they don't even say anything. They just look. They just start looking. And they start turning their head. That's when I know it's unlocking something inside of them, because when people look at it and they start to turn their head and they're like trying to, I don't know what they're trying to figure out, but they're trying to figure it. But to me, that just says the soul is already like, oh, wow. See, you remember this? You remember this part of you? You remember how we used to be before we came here? Oh, one thing too with these pens, because a lot of times I like to do it outside. I ground, feet on the grass, and then I just get to work. But be careful with these pens because they will dry up quick. That's why this one's not working like that, because I was outside with them, and depending on how hot it is, it may not even it may dry out a little bit. So it is what it is. But again, I just let it flow. Like sometimes I have some meditation music on. Again, you don't even have to do that. I'll have on some like jazz, some I love like Afro beats and Amapiano. Amapiano is like African house music, even though they do have a genre called Afro house, which is dope too. But to me, that's the easiest way to explain it to people that don't know what Amapiano is. Like a South African genre of music with like drums and piano, of course, and some other different instruments. So it's real dope. It's real dope. So that's how, again, that's just how I get started. I'm telling you, and I try to do a piece. I try to do it all in one setting. I try to knock it all the way out. So, because I'm going to add, so as you can see there, I add layers. So this, I can keep going and just add different layers to, the situation and that kind of thing. So that's just how I get started. I ain't going to go through the whole thing. But let's just go through another one because I like this one. I really, really like this prompt here. The gravity of the soul. See how your essence bends reality. Like gravity bends light. You don't chase alignment. It curves towards you. Let me say that again because I love that. The gravity of the soul. See how your essence bends reality. Like gravity bends light. You don't chase alignment. It curves towards you. So I'll use these other markers just to show you the difference. And so you don't have to prime these or anything. This is just, just regular kind of brush markers. And they got two different tips. So they got this tip here, then they got the finer tip there as well. I do like that aspect of it because sometimes I want to do a really, really big piece and I want to do like so much detail. So having these markers definitely does help. And like I said, you use all kinds of, I like the charcoal pens. Charcoal pens do great. They do great. They just add another element to like how it shows up and everything. So those charcoal pens are amazing. I like that. And of course, again, start how you want to start. If you want to throw paint at it, throw paint at it. I got like spray paint. I can spray paint and then spray paint the background, then do some coals on top of it. Whatever you feel you want to do. And then some people are really precise with how they draw like codes and stuff with like the fine lines and everything. I love that. I love that. See, I like this one because I'm going to be able to layer this real. I'm going to put some layers on this and see, again, I let whatever comes to me just come. I'm not trying to make it perfect or whatever that is. When I get done, it's perfect. It's perfect when I get done. Right now it's perfect. Right now it's perfect. Again, you get so many ideas about how to do it, and then boom, you can just fly with it. That's what you should do, really. So again, that's just a small sample size of just how I do different things and how I move. I got several different ones. These are ones I've done, and you'll see these up on the episode. So that, again, sometimes I just play around with different things. This one here, just kind of you see them up close. This one was when so I live in North Carolina, and we were up at Beach Mountain, Sugar Mountain, which are all kind of right there. And I was outside, some rocks and some different things I had, so I did that. And then again, I did say these are just white canvases. This is all these are, just white canvases. I really like to do, if I'm gonna do it on like a paper, if it's not the art book, of course you can use any kind of paper or anything as well. The size I like 11 by 17. 11 by 17 is big, and you can do a lot of different things with it. So please, if you got questions about anything, this is, I just want to take y'all through how I do what I do. And to me, why it matters now, light language rewrites your nervous system for trust, like we talked about earlier. It dissolves the habit of overthinking because the body recognizes the codes before the mind does. When practiced, it begins to reorganize itself in resonance with your drawings and sounds. So every stroke that you make out, and something shifts in your body and your mind and your spirit, I'm telling you, things unlock and your life starts to adjust to match it. So let's close with this. Power, love, and clarity. This isn't about making pretty symbols, and not saying they're not pretty. They're beautiful and amazing, just to let you know. It's about letting your soul remind you it has always been fluid in creation. You are not emulating someone else's frequency. You're remembering your own. And as you remember, your life begins to rewrite itself. Not with chaos, not with doubt, but with clarity. So let's leave this episode knowing that you are not just practicing light language, you are living it. So when you start, no matter how you start, that is you. That is you. You are already proficient because you're getting proficient at being you anyway. So the better you embody who you are and how you move and how you operate, then this will reflect that. This will reflect that in different ways. You see, as over time, I got different codes for a lot of different things. I got one, I'm telling you, I sat and did this one. I want to show this before we conclude, before we end this joint. I did one, I'm telling you, I just sat there I might have sat there for like an hour. doing it. But it was so therapeutic. Like, it felt amazing. Cause it was so many different little codes that I did. Not that one. I have to maybe upload it or something, because man, I'm telling you, it was so many little codes, and I just was sitting there. I forgot about that till just now. That's the one with the charcoal pencil. That's that one. I don't know. I thought it was up in the front, and it may not even be this book. But yo, I'm telling you, I sat there and like did the whole page with like small glyphs, and man, the way that it just unlocked some different ideas in my mind, just about life and how I was moving. It was amazing. It was amazing. So if you got any questions about anything, please leave a comment, like, share, subscribe. Hit me up, Alchemy Avenue 859 at gmail.com. Till the next episode, take care. Love yourself. Ashe.